I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times, cause anything worth doing is a tough.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going over third day surges and pennants. Now this is kind of like a weird kind of play because there's a couple variations, and the different variations kind of succeed for different reasons. Like there's different motivators for why they end up spiking, and you see the moves that they make. So the three ones that I kind of look at are multi-day pennants. You have the third day surge, and then you kind of have like a T+2 day. So kind of interesting. We're going to go through some examples. I'm just going to jump straight into them. Two of them, we're going to go over three examples. Two of them actually traded, so we can look at that as well. But yeah, I feel like it's going to be easier to show you guys than kind of try to explain it. So here we have CFVI. This is a multi-day pennant. So as you can see here, nice spike, and then the consolidation. See how it keeps putting in lower highs and higher lows. It gets tighter and tighter, and then here we have the move. Now it made the move kind of like a gapped a little bit, but there you go. See, volume came in, had a nice day. Now the follow-up is different for every single play, so be careful with that. Don't like assume it's just going to gap and just go multiple days. It's not always the case, but as you can see, beautiful break from that top trend. Now, if you follow my videos, and this is not the first one you've seen, you know I love triangles. I trade them intraday, I trade them multi-day. Same thing here. You have the base of the flag, and then you have the pennant. Really nice triangle here. This is just really good consolidation. I like this consolidation better than just traditional support and resistance because it gets tighter, which means it's going to make a kind of like a bigger, it offers better risk reward in my opinion. So not necessarily it's gonna make a bigger move, but it's gonna make a bigger move risk reward wise, because it's gonna be easier to kind of base off of where you're gonna buy and where you're gonna sell. So pretty much what this is it's just great consolidation. The reason it went up was just buying momentum, right? Consolidated really well. It came to a cross point where the sellers kind of moved down enough and the buyers moved high enough to we're at this point where one of them's going to give, and in this case the sellers gave, and we saw the nice move to the upside. Now it could have went the other way, and the sellers could have won, and the buyers could have given, and we could have saw that collapse. But like, let's go and let's look at SNTI. Right, let's look at this one right here. So we actually can go look at this. So 729, right? All right, so we have SNTI. So this is the intraday. Let's move the camera right down here for now. So we have really nice multi-day triangle. This is the intraday version of it. So we started on the multi-day. Now we're zoomed in on the intraday. As you can see, the lower highs, and we have the higher lows coming up here. And it's you know, big move, gets tighter, and then gets to right here. And then we have the actual day itself. Now, of course, as you can see this as well, it made another triangle, made kind of like another pennant, right? Intraday. This is during the day now. So I bought it right off of the break. Sold well, because as you can see, it dumped bad. So these are actually 5-minute candles. I will see if we can do the 1 minute. I don't know, sometimes it doesn't load. But as you can see in the morning, it made the move immediately. I didn't like that. I usually like to wait a little bit. And it set up again with it set up again during a time where I liked it better. And I took it, and yeah, it wasn't that continuation. Like I said, that continuation doesn't always happen. So let's actually see if we can look at this day in 1 minute and get a better picture for it. Okay, so we are back at the daily chart, so we cannot actually look at that closer. But yeah, as you can see, I bought it off of another pennant it created intraday wise. So again, these plays can be played on any time scale. That's the cool thing about them. And sold into the initial move, and then it dumped bad. It faked out, as you can see from this red day here. It came down to kind of the support, but it gapped down even further, and just no good. So that's a different way to play this. So this was actually a third day surge play, right? So this wasn't necessarily a pennant. So this itself wasn't a pennant. You might be like, okay, what makes it a third day surge, right? How does that work? Like, what is that about? Like, because we looked at the first one, right? CFVI, that was a multi-day pennant. This one's third day surge, which means the third day it surged, right? So we have the big day here, right? It gapped, made its move, right? Nice volume. Then we see the consolidation day, and then the third day. So the reason that third day surge kind of moves and kind of it works with the T+2, they're the same thing, just a different amount of days, is a short squeeze. And that's why you saw me selling so much into that initial move. And that's why you saw it pull back so hard, because shorts get in on this day here, right? And then on this day, they're like, okay, cool, looks good. Like, let's go down a little bit more, and it spikes. So shorts are a little bit trapped here. Like, okay, let's see. And then that third day, it makes that move, and there you go. So that's what I was looking for on that move, was the short squeeze, and that's what ended up hitting, was the short squeeze. It made that move out of the morning, creates that pennant, and then I bought the short squeeze, the secondary kind of squeeze, and then you saw it come down so hard. The thing about short squeezes is that that's kind of what you have to look out for, is that massive pullback, because when you squeeze shorts and the longs win, they always come back and get their revenge. We've seen that with everything. It will eventually come down, and that's more from principle of like price action. So sometimes you will see a bigger move, a bigger squeeze. Sometimes you see a secondary squeeze, but something like that, you got to be careful, because it will drop. Shorts will get back in and pile back in, and it will just rip the stock down. So that's what happened here, and that's what a third day surge is. Now T+2 is actually the trading day that they got in at, plus 2 days, so it'll happen on the fourth day. Now it's again the same principle of the short squeeze, but T+2 is, I believe, brokers, when they're not really supposed to give out shares to short, which they do a lot. That's what happened with GameStop and all that kind of stuff. Like, they do it all the time. It's not like an uncommon thing. So when they do that and they didn't have those shares to give out, what they do is that after like 2 days, they're like, hey, like, we kind of need those shares back. And they're not asking you. They're pretty much telling you, like, get out of that position, or we're going to take you out of the position and take those shares back. So on that fourth day, the trading day +2, you'll see possibly sometimes a short squeeze. Now, sometimes they don't do that because they didn't give out shares that they didn't need. Sometimes it just isn't enough where the shorts just aren't trapped. So again, nothing in this is guaranteed. I try to express that on my videos, that this is an art form. I'm trying to teach the principles of why it happens, and then kind of look for that, but then understand why it didn't work or it did work. So that's what this was. Shorts get in, kind of spikes here. They're trapped because they were looking for more downside, and then when it kind of makes this move, they didn't know how high this can go. So that's where you see them squeeze out, but then get back in, right? So there's probably some resistance up here, and they looked at that as a phenomenal shorting spot to get back in. So this gets crushed, and that's kind of what third day surges and T+2s are. They're just short, multi-day setups for short squeezes. That's it. So yeah, kind of focus on that. CLVR, on the other hand, see, multi-day pennant. Now we're going to take a look at this again. We'll look at this for a second, then we're going to look on the inside so you actually can see all these. As you can see, I hit this quite a few times and did pretty well with it. It was a nice move. I had a lot of fun with the stock, that's for sure. So yeah, so this is a pennant, right? As you can see, it has this day. 1, 2, 3. That fourth day it didn't do anything. The third day it didn't do anything. So this is not. Well, actually, trading day 1, 2. Okay, so there could have been a T+2 on this, because this did look like it was definitely like a short squeeze a little bit. As you can see, as it rips up and then pulls back. Remember, the shorts always win. It's just a matter of when they win. So that could have been a T+2, but as you can see, it just had a nice green day here, gaps, and beautiful day, and then it's just consolidating. It was a little sloppy right here, but put in lower highs and higher lows, tightens up, and then you see this nice move. And then that didn't hold up as well. I do not believe that this was a short squeeze. I think this was just buying momentum, and then it kind of fell apart. I think history says a lot, and when you see this spike here and then fall apart, when people saw this spiking, I don't think the buying momentum kind of was enough to kind of keep it going, especially when shorts are probably like, hey, it tried spiking 2 days prior, fell apart, we're going to short this one as well and see if it does the same, and it did. So there's all different reasons for what a stock does. So let's look at this. So we're going to look at, so again, we cannot look at the 1 minute chart on these. These are 5 minute candles over the spread of that day. I mean, over the spread of those days. So I tried going back with 1 minute. It's not going to work. It's too far. I wish TD allowed that, but they don't. So yeah, each one of these candles are 5 minutes. Just remember that. So here over here was that first green day, and then we had the gap, right? The big gap, and then that monster day. Now that actually set up with a triangle as well. Again, see, I love triangles. They're just so magical. I don't know what it is. They're magic, but really nice move here. It's just beautiful consolidation. Again, higher lows, lower highs, gets tighter. Volume comes in, and then just beautiful rip into the close. Really nice. And then we have, yeah, and then we have multiple days to set up. So you can see it kind of comes down, gaps down, big drop here. See, I don't know if this day, that fourth day, was actually a T plus two, because look how far this thing has come down. If you're short and you're still holding, I mean, I think all the shorts got out of this because this is just a beautiful move for them. That would have been a phenomenal trade. Maybe they would have shorted this bounce and see it for more downside. And when they saw it held this, maybe that's when they got squeezed. But that wouldn't necessarily be a T plus two because again, it doesn't have that principle of the shares are being taken back if they reshorted this day. So this could have just been a short squeeze. Who knows? But we can take a closer look at that. So as you can see, the day prior, nice spike, holds up. It is holding right here, and then I saw it holding this weird kind of making sure my camera's not in the way. So I saw it making this kind of like a triangle here. So I wasn't looking at this line right here first. I saw it kind of came up, was making it's holding support on the diagonal side, and then big candle right here, and I was just kind of forming this little triangle. So I didn't buy the break of it. I think I missed it. And then I came back and I bought the confirmation of it, right? VWAPs right here, which is real nice. And then I was just looking for key indicators. I saw it created kind of like a second one. So I was looking to see if it breaks that. And then I just sold all up through here. Not that patient I was, but just great volume. Sold pretty well. But yeah, sold a lot right there. And then we have the final move I took, which was the big move, the big, what was it, the pennant, the big daily play. And I traded this a little different. I don't do this a lot, but here's how I traded this one. So as you can see, I really liked this this setup. It just looked real clean. Look how nice this looks. Real clean, real nice. I already hit it once and did great with it. I've been watching the stock a lot. I know the stock. So when we come over to this day here, let's get the camera out of the way, so we want to make sure we see this one. Right. So I ended up taking my first position right here. This is after hours the night before. I saw that it kind of consolidated today. I'm like, tomorrow's definitely going to be the move. That's where it's going to run out at that time. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to see this thing gap up and make the move and kind of gap up, kind of like up here and then break it. And then I end up missing it. So I'm like, I'm going to take a very small position after hours. Right. And then I confirmed, I bought again, I added pre-market. So now I probably got like half size. And then this was a dip, but again, I can't show up because it's like 1 minute candles I need. But it looked like it was about to bounce here, and it was about to, like, it spiked up and it's coming down. I was going to buy that bounce, like add a third time, and then we're going to see that move. But it didn't. It was a fake out, and it actually went down further. So that's why it was kind of like a weird sell. It wasn't necessarily buying that triangle, that from that trend. But since I had these first two buys, I was in a great position. So I was like, okay, I'm fine. So I held and I kept my risk level. I stayed safe, and then phenomenal sells up here as this thing completely came down. So the key lesson from this play in this stock is that there's multiple different ways to play these. You can play them in anticipation. You can play the break. You can play the confirmation if it bounces off of this, right? You can play them kind of like that same ideology with breakouts that I should drop the breakout video before this one. So if you watch that one, you kind of know what I'm talking about with that, of the different personality ways of how to play these. And it all matters what works for you. As you can see, I played it in anticipation, but also played it with small size in anticipation, right? I took little pieces. I took starter positions and I started adding it and building that position up while keeping great risk reward and keeping myself safe and in a perfect position to nail this trade, and I did. So that's kind of where it is. You kind of got to understand when it's like a pennant and when you're looking for it's consolidating is offering great risk reward, and then it's just buying momentum. You got to know when it's a 30-day surge or T+2 when you're looking for a short squeeze, because both of those are going to react and play differently. So that's kind of the key principles when it comes to third-day surges and pennants. Let's switch back here real quick. That is going to be it for this video. Again, different way. There's tons of different ways to play them. If I were you, I'd keep an eye out and look for these plays and these setups, and then start data tracking them. Right? How many days does it take before they break out on average? Right? What is the success rate of them? Right? How many times do they fall apart? How many times do they break and act like they're going to break out and they work, and then collapse like this one did? Like, well, I saw on the screen, but the one I just showed, right? So data track them, really do the research, figure it all out, and then start practicing them, start trading them with lower size, and just testing them out and seeing and getting a feel for it, and then like kind of scale into it as you get better and better with these. But they are one of my favorite plays, or my favorite variations of plays. I love them, they're great. But that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys learned something from this. If you did not know these before, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. But like I said, that's going to be it. So have a good one, and peace.